Breaking news today. Social Security update. Trump administration reveals major changes. The Trump administration has revealed sweeping changes in Social Security, SSI, and SSDI benefits. At the very same time, lawmakers on Capitol Hill are sounding the alarm. Where's the independence of the committee? Where's the legislature? We're an equal branch of government. And you start off with a blather. Those were the words of Congressman John Larson.
Where's the independence of the committee? Where's the legislature? We're an equal branch of government. And you start off with a blather?
For years, Larson has been one of the loudest voices pushing to protect and expand Social Security. Recently, he stood on the House floor and delivered a fiery speech that shocked many. I'll break down all the details, but first, do me a quick favor and tap that like button and write in the comment, I support Social Security increase. Now, let's get started.
Now, here's where the story gets complicated. The SSA has been under scrutiny under the Trump administration, with concerns that the president's major budget bill, passed in July, could result in cuts to benefits for hundreds of thousands of Americans. The agency said its changes were part of an effort to better serve the American people. So on one hand, there is fear of cuts. On the other hand, there are proposals that could raise benefits. And this leaves millions of Americans wondering, will they gain or lose in the months ahead? John Larson's push for expansion. During that House hearing, Congressman John Larson outlined the Social Security 2100 Act, a proposal designed to expand benefits across the board.
There was a 14% cut in benefits. Today, we have a comprehensive proposal with regard to Social Security to help everybody across the board, including a 2% overall increase in Social Security, again, something that hasn't been done since Richard Nixon was President of the United States. We also want to make sure that no one receives a below poverty level check from Social Security. Currently, more than 5 million of our fellow Americans, most, Madam Speaker, you'll find interesting, are women, and primarily because they were the caregivers and the providers at home, and when they were in the workforce, were making less than their male counterparts. No matter how you look at it, it's unfair and unjust. Social Security is the nation's #1 anti-poverty program for the elderly, and it's also the #1 anti-poverty program for children. And more veterans, Madam Speaker.
He highlighted a 2% across-the-board increase in Social Security payments, something he said hasn't happened since Richard Nixon was president. Larson also stressed another critical point. Over 5 million Americans currently receive below-poverty Social Security checks. Most of them are women who spent years as caregivers, or who earned less than their male counterparts in the workforce. No matter how you look at it, Larson said, it's unfair and unjust. His proposal would not only increase payments, it would also change how cost of living adjustments, COLA, are calculated. Instead of using the CPI-E, which tracks expenses for urban workers, Larson wants to adopt the CPI, a metric based on actual senior spending, groceries, rent, utilities, prescriptions, and housing costs. Why does that matter? Analysts say switching to CPI-E could raise benefits by $300 to $500 per month for millions of retirees and disabled Americans. That's a game changer for households barely scraping by. And this is where you come in. I want you to tell me in the comments. Do you support the CPI-E? Do you support raising benefits by $300 to $500 each month? If yes, write this in the comments right now. I support Social Security increase. The leadership shakeup at SSA beyond Larson's legislative push. The Social Security Administration itself is undergoing a major shakeup. Leadership changes announced Wednesday included Chad Poist as Chief of Staff and Chief Risk Officer, Karen Glenn as Chief Actuary, Nicholas Perrine as Chief Communications Officer, Jay Ortiz as Acting Chief of Disability Adjudication, and Andy Sriabas as Chief of Field Operations. The agency also revealed that it will be reorganizing its operations into 3 divisions: field operations, processing centers, and digital services. This restructuring is supposed to bring leadership closer to frontline workers, improve efficiency, and speed up services for the American people. In addition, the SSA announced that it is consolidating all of its security functions into one unified system. This means information security, physical security, and personnel security will all be managed together, with the goal of protecting beneficiaries and strengthening the sustainability of programs long-term. On paper, these changes look like progress. But the reality for millions of seniors and disabled Americans is still grim. The struggle on the ground, according to John Larson, over 5 million people are still living in poverty despite receiving Social Security benefits. Add to that the crushing weight of inflation, and the situation looks even worse. A recent Gallup report revealed that grocery prices are up 21%. At the same time, projections suggest the COLA increase for 2026 could be as low as 2.7%. Just think about that for a moment. How can seniors possibly keep up when food costs, medical bills, and rent climb at double-digit rates, but their benefits only rise by a couple of percentage points? Larson was clear. Social Security is the nation's #1 anti-poverty program for seniors, for children, and for veterans. And yet Congress has not acted. He also reminded the House that Social Security benefits are not just lifelines for individuals. They flow straight back into local economies. When seniors receive their checks, they spend them on groceries, rent, utilities, and medicine. That spending supports local businesses, fuels job growth, and strengthens communities. So why isn't Congress treating Social Security as the economic engine it really is? What's next? Right now, we're watching two storylines unfold at the same time: congressional proposals, like John Larson's Social Security 2100 Act, which aims to increase benefits and adopt CPI-E, SSA administrative changes, leadership reshuffles, restructuring, and new risk management systems under the Trump administration. The big question is this: will these changes lead to stronger protections and higher payments, or will they pave the way for hidden cuts and added strain on seniors?
But for the millions of Americans depending on Social Security, SSI, and SSDI, the real concern is not politics or titles. It's survival. It's whether their checks can keep up with inflation, whether Congress will finally act, and whether the system will remain strong for the future. As inflation eats away at savings, and as Washington debates, it's more important than ever for everyday Americans to stay informed, speak up, and demand action. Because if nothing changes, millions will continue to fall behind. I'll be watching this story very closely and bringing you every update as it happens. So make sure to subscribe and leave your thoughts below. And don't forget, if you support real increases to Social Security benefits, until the next update, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.